Closer to home, yet far away from home. That was the fate of some people who died in a crash at Gomoa Okyereko on the Accra-Cape Coast Highway. Many of the dead, who were residents of Budumbram and its environs, were less than 30 minutes away from home when a fuel tanker rammed into their vehicle. 17 of the injured are in critical condition and on admission at Winneba Municipal Hospital and Trauma Specialist Hospital. Viewers are warned this report contains sensitive and graphic details of the crash.
The accident involved a petrol tanker traveling from Accra to Cape Coast and a U-turn bus from Liberia en route to the Budumbura camp. According to the Winneba Municipal Fire Service Commander, DO2 Kwesi Hughes, the severity of the accident led to a high number of casualties. Some eyewitnesses who spoke to our sister station at Dome TV revealed that the tanker driver veered off his lane and crashed into the U-turn bus.
They are one side. The new one said, crash it. You got to know whether to one side or not having the order. If I mean, I had a here, let's stop put taxi in Nayama. And then stop only we are, put and introduce the show that I used to know. And I won't say, or call pushing. In terms of we're feeling airport. I mean, you answer, oh, you not cut it.
So far, I do my good police pick up 7, including Akwalaba. 2-3 years. My planning so we move 2025. Okay. Yes, to the trauma hospital. Tanker no every Accra and the best in the natural Winneba Cape Coast Road. And a VIP news every Takrado Road and a neutral Accra.
How many people lost their lives and how did the incident affect traffic flow in the area? Fire Service Commander DO2 Kwesi Hughes has been speaking to MFR Pau on the midday news.
The casualties we had were in all 40. We were able to rescue 40 lives, and then 16 were taken to various mortuaries. And so that is the breakdown now. We are here to go to the hospital to visit advice. And so that is it.
And when exactly did this incident occur?
Okay, so it happened at Gomoa Okyereko, just before the bridge, on your way from Accra, and on your way from Cape Coast, just after the bridge.
Wow, so 40, we are told, are injured in various situations. Do we know the extent of injury amongst others?
Yes. The extent of injury is very great. You know, when you have an accident where people have been dismembered and people are chopped into pieces, the injury, we have some who has had their legs chopped off, some their hands are chopped off, and all that. It's a very serious accident.
In an interview with Adom News, ACFO 1 John Amalai Amate also commended fire service personnel at Winneba Station and all first responders for working hard to rescue survivors. Meanwhile, some family members of the accident victims also praised the Winneba Fire Service and police for taking care of goodies of accident victims.
Brother Bako Okamode, Sikamiti free, our Liberia Debani is almost $10,000. And Anyamia don't media may confirm so fire service personnel and police commander and Tisikana Omuye 9,000 they have been handing over to the police into a follow up
na de ewe akire bia na yebema stie for so asiati say e will be before for so na yebema o maso ati aye na so yebema o maso ati
the American scan say once fire service commander no I confirm so wo hono mo and omo check his scan 9,000 no there e safe keeping e wo dada police ni no whosoever na scan one is no me say ya police director be boy ya American scan nti nyame training to me na ebusafo no so omo ya hwe omo nkwa no me pamucho ye nim ebinim number obi expect ebusafo a omo nye follow up no mo bra give you out and about transport and ben confirm money until me start and retrieve dead body na omo me prepare na mo hospital
two entity car the accommodation and I the passengers no go elodu one car and I buy and a part two in a eti asem say anya accident wo kwan mu na pam so ye ko honum ye ko se no apare ko hu say asem e si ni na ayare wo yi pa but e si dada.
We're going to go over to Maxwell Agbagba live at the Winneba Hospital for an update on the survivors. Maxwell, you are there. What has been happening?
Heartbreaking scenes here, Brace. Here at the accident and emergency ward at the Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital. Family members of some of the persons affected by the crash are gathered here, waiting with bated breath for them to be discharged. But right here in the waiting area, you can hear occasional screams of pain as the health personnel here, the doctors and nurses here, treat the victims of some of them, you're told, have a femur fracture, some of them dislocation of their shoulders, some of them they have dislocation of their hips, some of them have deep lacerations, deep cuts on their faces and other parts of their body. A woman who I've been interacting with just some minutes ago, I'm told, almost had her arm dislocated, and she has been crying like a baby here at the accident and emergency ward of this hospital. Doctors have tried as much as possible to give her some pain relieving medications, but that is not bringing relief to her as she continues to cry to family members here that she's really in pain. Many of them who we've been speaking to have been waiting here since morning. Some of them, we're told, have been discharged because they came here with minor injuries. But there's still some of them who are here in the waiting area. Would love to take you to the main ward itself, but that would be a bit difficult because of privacy issues. As doctors and nurses are still attending to some of the people affected by this crash. I have a lady here with me. So it's a mix of nationalities affected by this. Earlier, I had an interaction with Bob Hagan. Bob Hagan is executive of the GPRT Ghana Liberia, and he was telling me that he lost 3 Ghanaian friends in that road crash this morning. He mentions, he told me about their names. He mentioned their names and told me about how one of them was dismembered with parts of his body completely sliced off. We're told that the enormity of the crash resulted in, dismembered his body, actually, I should say. I have one lady here with me. She's from Sierra Leone. She's going to tell us exactly what happened. She was on that bus when that crash happened. Hi, sorry. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank God. My name is Binta So from Sierra Leone, Freetown City, Wilkinson Road. I was in the bus this morning when the accident took place. I was sitting 2 seats after the driver.
You were sitting 2 seats after the driver? 2 seats
after the driver. So I almost fell asleep. I was sleeping. So the bus and the tanker just met face to face. And I just heard the noise. I stand up. When I stand up, I watch. I said, Jesus, accident, I'm dying. So I came down the bus because one of the side of the bus finished. So I came down, I began to shout, come and help us, come and help us. 6 people died at the same spot. About 3 men and 3 women die at the same spot.
You saw them?
Yeah, I saw them. So the Freetown Embassy, one of the women to help us, her name is called Rebecca. She's the one who helped us, bring us to the hospital. Some people get injured, their foot break, plenty people damaged seriously. So I'm now at the hospital, but I don't know the name of the hospital. The hospital helped us too. The Freetown Embassy in Ghana are taking care of us in the hospital. And I have the president sitting. The vice president of the Freetown Embassy is sitting close.
I'll be speaking to him shortly, but wishing you speedy recovery. Okay,
right,
you will find. Yeah. Okay. So if I come to the vice president, let me speak to a gentleman here whose sister. Your sister?
Yes, please.
Okay. She's the one in there. What's your name?
My name is Afonso.
Okay. You are the one, the woman in the complaint to that she's feeling sharp pains in her arm, and we're told that her arm is almost dislocated.
Yes, please. I'm the one. It is very sad. Actually, I work with the camp leadership, the Liberian community here. I work with I'm the IT guy for them. It was just, we got the information on Facebook. That was what made some of us to rush down here. But I don't believe my leadership knows about it. So when I return back, I'm going to talk to them about it. But it was very sad to come and then see your brothers or your sisters from back home trying to let's say reunite with you on this side, and then you are getting such a message. It is very sad.
You wanted to take your sister away in an ambulance this evening?
Yeah, I actually wanted to do, but according to the in charge, he said we have to wait for the meantime. Okay. I don't know the reason why. He's a medical practitioner. I'm not a medical practitioner. Sorry. So he's the one to say, okay, fine, she can be discharged. Yeah. So because my aim was to take her to the nearby hospital, I'm looking at the cost.
Okay. So the woman who complained to you, do you know her?
Actually, no, I don't know her in person.
But she's in severe pain. She's crying, right?
Yeah, she's in severe pain. I'm aware of it. Which I even talk to the in charge, the one who is on.
But they've given her medication, so that should help bring her some relief. But it looks like she's still in pain.
Oh, definitely, according to what he said to me, looking at her condition right now, she'll be in severe pain.
What did you see?
I'm not a medical practitioner to go beyond, so I would just take the advice from him.
Yeah, your lay.
My little, that's I said, it was very. Thank you, very terrible.
Thank you. Let me speak to the vice president. So you're the vice president of the Sierra Leone community here in Ghana. Yeah, I understand that your officials will be here tomorrow?
Tomorrow by 7 o'clock, they will be here. Well, they are coming to meet with the accident victims. You see, because I've already given them a rundown of the present situation as at now. I know we have one fatality. Total number is about 18 Sierra Leoneans. But for the emergency in Winneba here, where I am now, we have 4. Among them, they are very serious, you see.
That's a big thank you. Okay, so this is the waiting area, but this is the main ward where they are treating some of the patients who are now on admission. But because of privacy issues, it will be very difficult for us to get access to this place. Many of them are still being treated of their injuries, so it's very difficult for us to get access to the place and even have interactions. But I'm told that I'm getting signals that we can. Let's try and see if we can. Okay. Let's try and see if we can speak to this woman who is here on admission. We've been given the clearance by
his relative that we can talk to her. Let's see how possible that is. So we are not showing other faces, we're only showing the faces of those who've given us the permission to do so. We don't want to invade any privacy here. So let me... Hi. No, it's... So this woman... so the occasional screams that I talked about, as health personnel try to get her out of the bed, you can see the struggle. You can see the struggle. I've been told many of them are being treated, came here with femur fracture, dislocation of the hip, dislocation of the arm. Some of them passed out and had to be resuscitated.
They said they'll come and get something here, so you'll be able to penetrate.
Okay.
All right. So lay back on.
It's a lot of pain.
Okay.
Yeah. She had agreed to speak to us earlier, but in this state, I don't know if she will still want to talk to us. I don't know if she will still want to talk to us. Heartbreaking scenes here. Can we talk to you? Can we still talk to you? Tell us. I'm so sorry. Wishing you speedy recovery.
Yeah.
Do you remember exactly what happened?
I really remember because I was sleeping. I only saw myself almost on the corner. But people were just stepping on me.
People were stepping on you?
Yeah, people stepping on me because I was sleeping. So I told myself, the whole are close. But when they come on, man, I know that I was accident. I started crying. No clothes on me. I had you crying until I came all the way in front of the bus. Before people help me, they left for me, they came in front of the American.
I will not disturb you with so much talk. Wishing you speedy recovery, okay? You shall be well, okay? Okay. So yeah, we're not showing other parts of this facility because of privacy issues, like I mentioned. She agreed to speak to us, and that's why we came here to interact with her. And she was telling us about how she said she was sleeping on the bus, and after the accident, yeah, she opened her eyes, and the only thing she saw people stepping on her, walking over her actually, and she had to crawl her way out of the bus, and you can see her face. She has deep lacerations on the face. There are some cuts also on her back as well, and this is just one of the people affected by this, affected by the crash. But of course, before I hand over to you, Grace, another issue that has come up. We have been interacting with health personnel here. As you heard the Winneba Municipal Fire Service Commander mention, he said they took 16 bodies to the morgue. We've also been finding out from health personnel here. They said that 6 bodies were reported, actually died on the spot and were brought here to this facility. And those who've been interacting with, the authorities who've been interacting with, tell us that it's possible some of the people who are affected by this crash, some of the victims were taken to other adjoining health facilities. So they are compiling the figures, and hopefully by the close of the day tomorrow, they'll know the exact number so they can put it out there. So from the Winneba Trauma and Specialist Hospital, from the emergency ward, my name is Maxwell Agbagba. Over to you, Bruce.
Over to you, Maxwell. Very of these painful moments when you don't know what will happen to you on the way, but for those who survived, may God be with them. Those who lost their lives, may God keep their souls for their families. Now, a stitch in time saves 9, but certainly not on Ghana's road. The rains have once again exposed Ghana's monstrous, craziest and deadliest potholes. Many portions of our roads would not have deteriorated into gaping potholes if state agencies had fixed them on time. Today, Kojo Yankson kicks off Joy News' campaign, Ghana Potholes Exhibition, which exposes what he describes as widows and widowers making manholes on our roads.
As it is the role of the media to scrutinize government, it is also important for the press to give them credit for their achievements. Now, one particular achievement for which the press has failed woefully in an unjust, unfair, and unsportsmanlike manner to give government credit for is this: our potholes.
Yes, sir.
Just look at them. Deep, wide, jagged-edged moon craters peppered artistically across the asphalt canvas of our national road network, turning 10-minute journeys into 50-minute torture sessions, wreaking almost as much havoc on your spine as your shock absorbers. Yes, Ghana's potholes are one of the uncelebrated triumphs of leadership for which our government must not only be lauded, but applauded.
Now, what most people don't realize is that these monstrous death traps are not actually signs of the incompetence of our government supervisory bodies. They don't point to any lack of skill on the part of our road contractors. No, these are actually clear evidence of the unmitigated success of some of government's top flagship programs.
Which programs, I hear you ask? For the answer to that profound question, we must take a closer look.
Look at this one. Mid-sized, quite deep, shaped like some sort of asphalt amoeba. To you, this is an accident waiting to happen. But to the government, this is perfect for planting corn.
Yes, sir.
And it's not just good for planting corn. Potholes are perfect for rice plantation.
Ghana for
tomatoes,
things need to be said and
even cocoa.
As the rainy season approaches, the true value of these potholes becomes apparent. They are perfect for a farmer in planting for food and jobs.
So there you have it. If you have ever wondered why some of these potholes you see on virtually every road in this country of ours never get fixed, well, now you know.
And that is not the only flagship program that government is delivering to rip-roaring success with these cherished and beloved potholes. There is also one village, one dam. Just think of the irrigation potential for the Planting for Food and Jobs project we saw earlier.
And we're still not done. Look at this. Look at the deadly jagged edge of this particular beauty, shaped like the fangs of a village witch. Now, let's measure the depth.
But some things need to be said and
What do you think happens when your car hits this pothole at speed? Obviously, you immediately need spare parts. After a few encounters, a whole new car. If government is able to maintain a few of these widow-making potholes across the country, just think of what it will do for the automotive industry. One district, one factory.
So the next time you feel like throwing your hands up in despair at the state of our roads, the next time you wonder why government keeps throwing money at incompetent contractors to construct roads which after 3 months will break out in potholes like a prepubescent teenager's face breaks out in pimples, just remember that these are the evidence of your government's stellar performance. Why would they cover them up? Reporting from Ahaya Kwanhu, my name is Kojo Yankson.
Yes, sir.
So share your potholes with us with the hashtag GHPotholes, hashtag Joy News as well, and then we can get that and deal with that for you. But some of you have already been sending us some of your pictures. Let me share that with you in a jiffy. Now, David Kwame Achampon here says, the potholes in Ghana can damage the intestines of your vehicles. I mean, that's what he says. What are other people saying? Zambang Naz says, when you start driving in Ghana, that's when you will know we don't have good roads. So many damning potholes, and the most annoying thing is seeing big holes and gutters on the middle of tents. There's nothing like good roads in Ghana. Well, that's what he says. So you can also join us with yours as well. Well, what are other people also share with us as well? Let me share with you more of those coming in here. Well, it's technology we're working with. Some people, well, anyway, let's try and see how this one will work. Like I said, you can share yours with us. Okay, let me try and see if this one will work well. Okay, so George Ejapon says, you guys should come to okay, I think I missed that one. He says, you guys should come to Koforidua Eastern Regional Capital. You will find potholes moving Kong, or Kimping. So that's what he says right there. Let's share with you what others are also tweeting as well. Like I said, tweet at us with your pothole picture with a hashtag @GHPotholes. Okay, now we'll be let's speak to road consultant engineer Abdullah Mahama, who believes the lack of continuity of project when a contractor leaves site after the first layer has been applied has contributed largely to the abundance of potholes on roads in Ghana. He joins us via Zoom, via phone now with more. Grateful to you for joining us here. Now, what contributes to a lot of roads in this country being replete with potholes?
Well, I would say good evening to your viewers. The glamour or cluster of reasons why we'll be witnessing the potholes that are scattered across the roads in the country. Like you rightly pointed out, depending on the nature or the type of road being constructed and at what stage it's left uncompleted, you would witness maybe a lot of potholes on that particular stretch due to the unavailability of the various layers that would have capped the road from getting allowing water to seep through it. So let's take one example. You are having a gravel road which is supposed to be tarred, and after the gravel had been shaped and compacted to receive the bituminous substance and then the chippings, let's say a contractor just does what we call the primer seal. And after doing the primer seal, maybe that contractor is not able to continue citing non-payment of certificate as a reason for abandoning the project. Now, the primer seal is just like you just applying a coat. Mostly, if you're going to do a painting of your building, you just have to do the first coat, which is would even the surface before you apply the actual material. And so in the same vein, because the primer seal is just a thin layer, just a leveler, and it's abandoned, with the small application of vehicular load on them and breakages or braking of the vehicles, halting and moving, you would start to see that these bituminous substances will peel off. And if care is not taken and the contractor does not report back to site to actually come and seal all those potholes and then actually put on the main seal, first and second seal, you have some of this deterioration as one of the reasons why you see some of these potholes on the road. Other reasons may be when we have allowed soil, debris or material from the adjoining uphill land to go across the surfaces. And then this abrasion, when the vehicle tires get into contact with this and they move, those creases move the bituminous substances away from the layers. And then once there are avenues for water to seep through the gravel material, you have some of these potholes coming up. And some of them too may be due to lack of technical know-how. But in all that, the Ministry of Roads and Highways, which has these agencies under them, the feeder roads, the Department of Urban Roads, and then the Highway Authority, have a program. In fact, in all the regions, they submit their program for maintenance of this road. However, the main reason why you see some of these roads is that once they submit their bill for routine maintenance and they don't get the funds released on time, there's something we call exponential defect.
Okay.
A defect on the road that would have been sealed, let's say, the first quarter of 2023, if those few identified potholes are actually sealed or repaired,
okay,
it would have kept it. But once they go beyond the second quarter, a 30 cm or 20 cm diameter area would have exponentially grown beyond that, about 70 to 80. So that becomes the gullies you see on the road, because once the first area is exposed, the other ones becomes exponential, because the vehicles will go through, the tires will go through, and then they will break in all those edges of the potholes, enlarging it. And once there's water, especially in the rainy season, for instance, when the water gets into the material, it becomes successful, and then you have these potholes increasing beyond the normal.
Okay. Now, once we know exactly what causes our roads to deteriorate, why do we keep doing the same thing again and again without really solving the problem?
I think, like I said, it all boils back to the release of funds and whether we have enough funds for all the maintenance. That is what I know. If we don't have enough monies, well, no matter where it's actually accrued from the oil fund or the fuel levies from the fuel and the toll, which is actually yet to come back into operation and all that. The money that I see coming from the fund to even actually maintain the roads. In fact, the whole year's budget cannot even maintain the roads in Greater Accra, let alone carry out for the other 15 regions for proper maintenance and reshaping. So in that case, if all the bills from the regional directors are submitted to the headquarters and the money is not made available to the subcontractors or those certified local contractors who are supposed to embark on the pothole patching, these are some of the things that we're going to experience. But I know for sure that the monies that are earmarked for yearly maintenance of the road is woefully inadequate.
Interesting. So it means that the solution is about releasing of funds that can help us fix the
potholes. And the other one has to do with, like I rightly said some years back, when we identified that some roads are being constructed and in record time they go bad, the Ministry of Roads and Highways have to identify these contractors who have a record of executing projects that do not stay within the design lifespan. These contractors and the consultant ought to be identified and blacklisted so that we don't keep on awarding projects to such contractors who have records of undertaking roads which do not stay within the design lifespan.
Okay. Okay. All right. Grateful to Engineer Mahama for joining us with your expertise. Now, let me still share with you some of the thought that some of you have been tweeting at us. I said you can also tweet at us with your picture of your pothole with the hashtag GH potholes. Now, Godwin Edu Anoche says, until we begin to do away with partisan, for issues-based politics and the media corruption on selective reportage among most media men, we as a country will continue to face these kinds of problems. So that's it there. Mamiya Ofosima says, please go and capture Aguna Swedro to Akim across the road. You'll be marveled. So that's what Mame is telling us. So let's share with you some more. Now, Idi Shakura says, this is the problem I always have with roads ministers. They will do asphalt roads, but when it start getting holes, they will never fix them. So what is the sense in this? That's what he's saying as well. Let me share with you what others too are reporting. Now, Kwabena Nkrumah says, come to my area in Kumasi Kote and the Duaku. Grace Ashia says, we have lived with it over the years. One day, it will be okay. Okay. IMF money. Okay, so that's what she tweeted there. Let's share with you some more of your tweet coming in here. You can also tweet at us with the hashtag GH pothole. So now the Sekendi Sports Stadium, Esipon in the Western region, is rotting away after government assured the renovation works of the facility were at advanced stages in completion. In 2020, government revealed it will invest over $3 million to complete the first phase of the renovation of the project. In spite of that, the stadium has been left in a deplorable state, largely because it hasn't had any renovation since its completion for the 2008 African Cup of Nations. I have been to the stadium, and here are what my cameras captured.
Speaker, some stadia across the country were renovated in 2021 and at various stages of completion as follows. Accra Sports Stadium, 98%, Phase 1 of Baba Yara Stadium, 98%, Esipon Stadium, 90% complete, Cape Coast Stadium, 60%.
That was Ghana's Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, presenting the 2021 budget statement on the floor of Parliament. After his pronouncement, many Ghanaians, especially those in the Western region, who knew the state of the stadium, became angry. One of them is the Member of Parliament for the Eskado-Keten constituency, Joe Gate.
I write with regard to the above. The Finance Minister, in the budget statement delivered on Wednesday, 17th November 2021, stated that rehabilitation works on the Sipon Stadium is 90% complete. My checks reveal otherwise. As Member of Parliament for the area, I would be grateful if you could furnish me with the update of the said project, which is located in my constituency. Furthermore, if the information given is accurate, please furnish the Finance Minister with the accurate information to enable him advise himself accordingly. The project is of great interest to me and my constituents. Counting on your usual cooperation, respectfully yours, Joe Gate.
2 years after the pronouncement, I have come here today to see if anything has changed. What I see is nothing more than an eyesore. Outside, I noticed that some of the ceilings had completely been ripped off. The few pieces of wood and patches of ceiling that remain are falling off. The state of the restrooms is deteriorating. Nothing appeared to indicate a well-maintained stadium. To put it simply, the entire place is in shambles. When you come here, what you see are worn-out chairs with metals showing. It's a danger for people to be here in its current state. The question you ask yourself is, where did we go wrong for such a national infrastructure to be left to rot to this level? Stephen Kwame Yeboah is a sports journalist here in the Western region.
We hosted the tournament in 2008, and from 2009 to 2019, that was when the then sports minister, Honorable Isaac Esiama, came to Sekondi to do inspection of the facility.
He says the former sports minister, Isaac Esiama, when he visited the stadium, was also shocked at the extent of wreckage and neglect. Like many footballing and sports enthusiasts who have been at the stadium, Honorable Isaac Esiama joined chorus of voices calling for the renovation of the stadium.
He even reiterated that they have a budget allocation for the renovation work and it was going to be done in phases. So we were all of the assurance that, as he said, that the facility was built by the MPP government and they went to opposition and they are back. Once they are back in power, he will make sure that the facility is fixed. And from 2019 to 2021, that was November 2021, that was when the finance minister said that the renovation works at the secondary sports stadium was 90% complete. And to some of us, it came as a surprise because it's been a place that we visit regularly to find out what was really going on. And I remember the MP for Eskado even came up to challenge them that, to his knowledge, he thinks that the facility is not up to 90%.
To Stephen Kwame Yeboah, it seems no one cares about the state of the secondary sports stadium, Esipon.
Sometimes I feel like we have big men in the region. We have MPs which, to the best of my knowledge, they are very influential in government. We have chiefs here. But it seems nobody cares about what is really happening to this particular facility here at the secondary sports stadium. And sometimes when it's like you begin to push too much, it's like you want to cry more than they bereave, because we have people who have been put in position to make sure that things works. But at the end of the day, it seems nobody cares.
He reveals that aside the roofing, nothing has happened since the then sports minister, Isaac Esiama, visited the facility.
Apart from the roofing, that I've seen that they started with the blasting. Apart from that, I've not seen any major works going on. That is from my personal observation. Apart from the roofing that I've seen that they've started working on it. Apart from that, they've not done anything.
He wants the leaders of the region to do better in advocating for the stadium to be rehabilitated.
It seems, like I said, we have leaders, we have chiefs here, we have big politicians here, which for me I know they are very influential in the MPP government, but it seems they are all not perturbed with what is really happening to this facility.
Benjamin Abwaji is also a sports journalist with Sky Power FM in Takrady. He has also been investigating why nothing seemed to be happening here.
Oh, what they told me was that the contractor left. I went there, I think, last 3 weeks or so. The contractor left because money was not coming. You get that? Yes, money was not coming, and if money is not coming, I think he uses materials and stuff for the project. And you and I know when you are waiting for sea, sand, and those kind of things, it's sums of money. And if the money is not coming as it is, you can't spend whilst it's not coming.
He believes the bad performance of secondary Takrady-based clubs like 11 Wise and Azakes in the Premier League could also be the reason the stadium has not been renovated.
You will ask yourself, sir, okay, so if the government renovates it, what will it be used for? Because now in Western region, the teams that can conjure that numbers to the stadium, because now if you rent a Sipon Sports Stadium, NSA will not charge you not less than, let's say, 2,000. So you ask yourself, can this Division 1 teams pay 2,000? You see that? Can they pay 2,000 for the stadium? If they can't, nothing motivates the government to, because after motivating it, we have to maintain the stadium. I am not saying that they shouldn't do, they should do, they can do another activities there, but the main purpose of a Sipon Sports Stadium is to use it for football or footballing activities.
A functioning sports stadium in Sipon brings patrons to businesses in this area. Residents want government to act to restore the stadium to its former glory. John is a resident of Sipon.
This stadium, when I came here, they said those days it was a very active stadium that they normally travel from some countries in Africa, Cote d'Ivoire, to come and play football matches over here. But of late, you see that it's in a very deplorable state, and then nothing seems to be happening over here. So I would say right now, the whole system, everything over here is dead. That's what I see. So I don't know what actually authorities are doing about it.